Welcome back to Attack of the Pack. This is schedule preview, NFL schedule preview. We are now on week 2. Once again, we're looking at mainly just primetime games that everybody will have a chance to see. We got 2 on deck this week that look interesting. First, we're going to talk about Seattle versus Green Bay. And this comes down to primetime offense versus defense. Now, granted, of course, we know the Packers offense, hopefully, I should say, the Packers offense is going to come to play. The Seahawks defense is going to come to play. The question here is really, it's still offense versus defense, but it's more that Seattle offense with the new addition of Jimmy Graham and the loss of Max Unger versus the Packers defense with the loss of Tramon Williams and Devon House, but the additions of those 2 safeties.
Demarius Randall.
Yeah, Demarius Randall and Quentin Rollins. Sorry guys, I couldn't remember your names. Feel bad as a Packers fan now, but anyways, how are those going to come together? So still, it'd be a lot of high power there. That'd be interesting to see. It could really, I feel that no matter who wins this game, they're both going to go on to win double-digit games.
Oh, yeah.
But it could really propel one team to higher levels of play. And but come playoff time, it's only week 2. I don't really know if this game will probably have like home field implications possibly during the playoffs. But outside of that, it's not really going to mean much. It'll just be nice. It'll just be interesting to see, this irresistible force versus the immovable object. Now, the other game on hand is also a primetime offense versus defense showdown, and that's going to be the Jets versus Indianapolis. However, new head coach for the Jets. Don't know what that defense is going to look like. Pretty good defensive coach. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. Versus an Indianapolis team. Hasn't been able to run the ball. Oh, sorry. Forgot to reset the timer. Hasn't been able to run the ball, but they got Frank Gore.
Okay.
Haven't really had game-breaking receivers other than T.Y. Hilton, but now they have Andre Johnson and Philip Dorsett. And Dante Moncrief. So, while we know what we're going to get from Seattle's defense and Green Bay's offense, this is, in the same way, an offense versus defense showdown, but it's unknowns versus one another. How is Andrew Luck going to, look with his new offensive toys out there at wide receiver? Now we know Antonio Cromartie and Darrelle Revis were awesome the first time they paired up, but how are they going to look now that they've come back together again years later, which means years older?
Yep.
So how are they going to look? Are they going to be just as dominant as they were before? And also, what does Todd Bowles bring to this equation? So I find that that matchup should also be really interesting, and looks like 2 really key, really good games. And of course, if your favorite team's playing that week, well, you got their game as well. But looks like that's pretty much going to do it for week 2. Joe, thoughts on anything?
Green Bay Seattle game. And this isn't just because I'm a Packer fan, but I don't think it's gonna be as close as people think.
Mm-hmm.
I think granted, Green Bay loses 2 key pieces in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But we look at the offense. We're looking at them as the offensive team.
Mm-hmm.
Got an offensive line that was playing stellar football.
Shutting down that Seattle defense.
So they come out and play like that in Lambeau. Rodgers is going to
That's
come
another thing. Last time it was in Seattle.
Rodgers is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder.
Mm.
He's got a solid receiving core, solid running game. I don't think that game's going to be as close as people think. Colts, Jets, I think I'm going to go back to the same thing we talked about week 1 with Colts and Bills. I just don't think the Jets can score the points to keep up with the Colts.
Mm.
And I think
Geno Smith.
Frank Gore, he's getting old. I don't expect him to have a huge season. but I think he's going to draw enough attention
You think he'll get?
that Andrew Luck's not going to have to throw the ball 50, 60 times a game.
Yeah.
And it's going to open up more for him when he is throwing the ball.
And something that's really astounding when you think about it is as much as they throw the ball, throwing was their offense. Their left tackle, I believe his name is Anthony Costanzo from Boston College. He gave up 4 sacks last year. 4. That's it. 4.
Wow.
As many times as Andrew Luck drops back, 4 sacks. Now I don't know about the rest of their line, but that's pretty damn good. That is pretty damn good. So needless to say, they hit when they drafted him.
There's a little statistical nugget for you folks.
Yeah. No. The Seahawks are not going to score 37 points. Anyway, sorry, folks. And I've gone on record before as saying that I don't think Jimmy Graham's contribution to that offense will counter the loss of Max Unger because that offense is built to run the ball and Jimmy Graham doesn't block. Max Unger, of course, was very key to having great run blocking in Seattle. They were a far better run team when he was playing. The passing numbers for Wilson are going to go up, but as far as overall offensive production, their ability to move the ball and their ability to eat up clock and make and pressure teams and having to play fast and quick against that scary defense. I mean, if you're sitting there passing the ball and you score real quick, that's the downside of passing. If you score quick, an 80-yard pass, and you score quick, well, now the other team has more time than they would have had to sit there and pick apart your defense. I mean, a quarterback with 4 minutes is always going to be more dangerous than a quarterback with 2 minutes. So...
Now, off the top of my head, I don't know. What was Seattle's red zone offense like last year? Do you know?
I have no idea off the top of my head.
My only thought with Graham being added to them.
Well, I don't know. Now that they have Graham, they probably won't go to him in the red zone. Let me think about it. They had Marshawn Lynch, and they didn't go for Marshawn on the 2-yard line to win the Super Bowl. So Pete Carroll, whatever you're thinking is normal and would be smart.
True. I was just gonna say. Does he add a red zone threat that, in theory, makes Lynch even more dangerous in the red zone? Because everybody always expects to see Lynch, but now you've got that big body target in the red zone. I don't know. I'm just throwing crap out.
But anyways, Seattle versus Green Bay, Jets versus Indy. Those are our 2 games to watch prime time. I feel will be good games. Joe thinks Green Bay is going to blow out Seattle, which, hey, I love a blowout personally. If it's a team I like, I love a blowout.
I guess not so much a blowout.
Well, I don't know.
But I'm saying
if
I don't
win by
expect
2 touchdowns against that defense, that's a blowout.
I guess that's considered a blowout. But I was thinking, it's not going to be some 27.
That's an upset.
My thought is it's not going to be some 27-24 game. It's going to be more like 35-24 or 35-21.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be 42-13.
Yeah. But that'd be awesome though.
I ain't gonna complain.
But anyways, all right, so that'll do it for week 2. Come on back and we'll hit up week 3 on Attack of the Pack.